What's going on? What's going on? Peace and blessings to everybody. It's your boy Jay Taylor. I got my sis, Blessed Girl, with me.
Hey, bro.
What's going on, sis? Welcome back to Voices for the Voiceless. And we definitely had to come with this video because it's just imperative to for a saint, a follower of God that has a heart in this situation. As the title says, Jeff Metcalf was trying to pray with Karmelo's family, and that's when he went to the press conference. They kicked him out, and since you said it was a missed opportunity for people to, to set the example for the youth, for the people, for the everybody across the world. Eyes are on this situation, and I got a video here where they talk about it. I'm gonna bring that up, but since we want to give your immediate thoughts on this, because this is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Know,
no, I agree. Friday when me and you, we was talking, and that was really my first time. I think it was maybe Thursday when I saw the press conference. And as I looked at the press conference and I seen, I saw where they, called the cops and had Mr. Metcalf, made him leave. They pretty much escorted him out. I told you then, I say, that was a missed opportunity. And I did feel at that very moment that was a God thing. I think that God sent that man there for a reason. And he sent him there for a reason. And I say that, and they turned thy servant away. Literally. It was one of the things where that was the opportunity. You can't tell me that wasn't a God thing. And see, a lot of people don't understand when, you people are so heavily involved in, what's right, what's wrong, who's right, who's wrong, not understanding that this man, for one, he had just lost his son. And for him to make that appearance, he had every right to be there. Because at the end of the day, if anybody should have been there, it should have been him. But they turned him away, not realizing, you don't even realize that, the way God do things. Because I do feel like God sent him there for a reason. And now once we, go through this video, we'll see exactly why God sent him there. So, I'm gonna let you, go ahead with the video, and we gonna jump back into this.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to the content creator, April Chapman, the Standard of Truth. She brought this content, and let's rock. Let's see what it was saying.
He shook the office.
I wonder if HoneyBook has any new clients for me today.
I wonder where my best leads come from.
Commercial.
Officer's hands and went on his way. Now, here's what he does say. Quote, they should have pulled me up to the front and said, we are so sorry. Our condolences.
This is what she's reading is a statement that Jeff Metcalf made via social media.
The only thing I would have said was, okay, can we pray together and show the world we're united? Wow. This is what he told the Post on Saturday. Do I need to read it again? What do we do with that? What do we do with someone who is absolutely right, Because I'm still trying to understand, after that, with that entire press conference, they didn't lead with condolences and we are sorry for your loss. It was, what about us and what we going through? And I'm like, I'm sorry. This is rich. This is really rich.
Bro, stop that for a second.
They waited to the last.
Man.
Everything that she's saying, when we had that conversation on Friday, what did I tell you?
Yep. Everything she said, you said that on Friday. And for people to say that he did not belong there, he was like intimidating. No, he was actually there to pray with these people. And make no mistake, offering that olive branch can help Karmelo in his situation. They build a relationship with Jeff Metcalf. He might go in there and testify on his behalf. I don't want to see this young man go to jail for the rest of his life, even though he unalived my son. But you kicked him out. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's why I was telling you, I said, you really have to be careful how you treat people. And a lot of people, I told you, at this very moment are profiting off of the pain of these two families. And especially us. I'm looking at, like I told you, I'm looking at shirts where they got this boy's picture on there saying F around and find out. And I told you also that within our culture, and when we look at the teen deaths within our, it's either the unaliving with a knife or a gun. There's no more fighting anything out anymore. So for us, that's sad that we have gotten to a place where we're saying that this is justifiable. And again, a lot of people of our color think that this is justifiable because it's so common in our culture. It's so common. You understand? When you look at the highest rate of teens that's unalived by the people of the same color, we're at the top. And so it just breaks my heart to see adults out here, grown people, that's literally saying that this is justifiable. Instead of people coming together saying, you know what, we really need to pray for this and pray for the families. We need to do more praying and teaching the children, look, this ain't the way, you know what I'm saying, that this ain't the route you want to take. You don't have to use a weapon. You understand? We can fight it out. We can talk it out. We can, it's literally no conflict resolution anymore. It's now, this is the point, we've gotten to the point of this is what people are basically promoting. And this is what these children are looking at. So now you're making this young man as if he's a hero within unalive. And when I guarantee you, after he did what he did, he thought if he could take it back, he definitely would have took it back.
Absolutely. And just think, if that would have happened, what that image of them two families praying together would have did for the rest of the world. What it would have did for Karmelo seeing his parents praying with the father of the son he unalive. Think about what it would have did for Jeff Metcalf's other son, Hunter. Just think about the other children that they went to school with, what that would have done, what great service that would have done for the kids that went to school with both of them. It was just inhumane to me.
It was very. And you know what, Joe? When you think about that, this man lost his son. He lost his son. And he extended the olive branch to go and pray for this family, the family that young man killed his son.
From day one.
Listen, that's what you call a God-fearing man. That ain't nobody but God. And I'm telling you, they had that opportunity to really you know, fine. And I'm saying, if it was me, and he came to extend, I don't give a flip about no press conference. I don't give a flip about any the publicity. It would have been the publicity that they would have got off of this would have been reunited of a situation that was tragic, and now it has turned into treasure. It could have easily been literally, you know, at a point where we seeing two families mended. We already going through enough in our country already, you know, and to know that we're seeing this. This man his son ain't even been, you know, dead 3 weeks. It's literally going on 3 weeks now, and for that man to have just the compassion that he have for another family that, you know, unalived his son. I'm telling you, man, this situation right here, I think I've never in my life, besides that, what was it, the Boken Gene, I can't think of his name. I don't want to, but it was the young black guy that parents forgave Amber when she, you know, she was a cop, and and the father forgave her. And what I'm saying is he forgave her at court. You know, it's probably, I'm sure it took time. But this man, the second day after his son was murdered, he got on national TV and he said, I forgive. And for that spokesperson, whoever he is, to get on there and say that this man owed him an apology. I'm telling you, it's some soulless people in this world, and people are really showing, Jeff, how soulless they are. They don't have a soul.
Just based off of skin complexion.
Just based off of skin complexion. Because I guarantee you, if this young man was, nobody care. They wouldn't care. Because guess what? I told you. Less than 2 weeks prior to that situation, it was a situation with a little young black girl by the name of Anaya, and she and another young little boy got into it on the bus. She was 14, he was 13 years old. Guess what? He went home. She was out there playing on the playground. He went home, got a gun, and came back and shot that baby 4 times and killed her. You didn't hear that? You know, you did not hear that. Oh, you might have heard bits and pieces on the local news, but I guarantee you it didn't get the controversy that this is getting. You know why? Only because it's a different race. That's it. That's it. And that's the sad part, because we got to get past that. At the end of the day, when we all see Jesus, it ain't no white heaven, it ain't no black heaven, it ain't no Chinese, it's none of that. You understand? We all bleed red. God loves all of his children. But for some reason, I'm just telling you, black people are, and I keep saying, are some of the most racist people that they are. We like to pick and choose when we want to use this topic or use whatever we want to use to fit whatever narrative it is, when we ain't even going in our own communities and trying to stop the violence and talking to these young kids. But yet and still, it's happening every day and ain't nobody talking about it. But as soon as it's something with another kid that's white, it's all over. The media use these things, and they've used it for so long to keep the division. That's why I told you, I'm no longer identifying as black. I'm an American. I'm an American.
Yeah, I feel you, because
it's just
we the only country that has this racial issue. Like, nobody else is tripping off of that. But in America, racism has been sewn into the social fabric of this nation. It has become a disease.
It sure have.
Well, we can't see the obvious truth. A lot of us, well, this doesn't even apply in this situation. These were two
It
kids.
does not. And I've said it, and the Father said it from the beginning that He did not want to make this about race. And guess what everybody did? Made it about race. All of this, you know, talking about the father's white supremacists and putting up this man's supposedly background, and that turned out to be untrue because there was another guy by the name of Jeff Metcalf, and they saying that this man had just evil.
Just evil. Talk about the man sat up here and had a SA case, and it wasn't even him. Digging up this man, trying to dig up dirt on him. And it wasn't even, that was defamation. And people ran with
at the
that
end of the day, what did that have to do with this? It had nothing to do with what this man has just experienced with his child.
Even if it had been true, it didn't have nothing to do with nothing.
It didn't have nothing to do with anything.
You see, that's that mob mentality. You know, oh, we gotta stand with, no, if you wrong, I don't care if you black, white, brown, yellow, green, purple. If you wrong, you're wrong. But God, like you said, sis, you rejected God's servant when he came to you.
You sure did. You sure did. And I told you Friday, bro, I said, you know, that was a God. God sent that man there. And I do believe that. And you really turned his servant away.
Y'all think God tripping off black and white? Really? I kind of want to let, we can stop at any moment, but April made a lot of great points. So I want to get, you know, a little bit in and then just let me know if you want to elaborate on some things.
Okay, bro.
This joker right here, who's got a rap sheet as long as a CVS receipt. I heard somebody say that. I thought that was hilarious. Why the first thing out of his mouth is that it is disrespectful for the Metcalf parent to be at their press conference. And I'm like, but they didn't do anything. Now, a situation like this, I could see how someone could say this is a volatile situation. He probably shouldn't be there at all. But I would only come to this discussion with that assertion if I had seen a pattern of not unlevel-headed behavior from Jeff Metcalf. We've seen him on camera. We've seen him calm, grieving, but calm, able to communicate his thoughts, able to be empathetic to the other side. We've seen this man publicly forgive the person who has wronged him and caused his son's life to end. Like, we saw that. We don't see a pattern of behavior from him of speaking out of anger, but rather being very thoughtful and careful with his words. So in a situation like this, I could see how someone on the outset might say he probably shouldn't have been there. But my question is, well, why not? If the police are present and he is not demonstrating belligerent behavior, he doesn't have a weapon on him, I think perhaps this could have been handled differently. But instead, the first thing that comes out of this punk's mouth is, it is disrespectful for him to even be here. And I'm like, how is it disrespectful? Now, I could see if the roles were reversed and they were the grieving family because their son had been alive, and then the parent of the person who killed their son had shown up. I could see how someone could say, it's disrespectful for you to be here. I'm not ready to see you right now. I'm still processing what happened. Why are you here? However, those are not the details of this situation. So let me read to you guys this article. The father of slain teen Austin Metcalf said he hoped he could pray with the family of his son's alleged killer, but wound up feeling disrespected when he showed up earlier this week at a press conference organized by the accused slayer's kin and got thrown out. Let's just marinate on that first paragraph right there, because I was like, say what now? You came there to do what? Ooh, you got the patience of Job, and it is to be commended, because most of us, if we're honest, would not have wanted to go there to pray. Now, I can't discern this man's heart. He is saying, just like he said in the press conference, I forgive, and I'm just praying for that family, and we're both hurting right now because we're both losing our sons. I've seen nothing but empathy and compassion and forgiveness on the person who has been wrong. Like, that's what we've seen from him.
Thank you. So, with that being said, I'm just trying to understand why anybody that says that they are a follower of Christ, anybody says that they believe in God, you cannot see God all over this man. How can you not see? I mean, who could have that type of level of compassion while they're grieving the loss of their child? To even go there, he better than me and most people, period.
Lord have mercy. That's a strong man. When I
That's a
tell you
strong man.
that's a strong, God-fearing man and he's obedient, do you know I'm pretty sure he wrestled with that thing when God was speaking to him and say, you go to that press conference and I want you to go and pray and pray with that family. Don't you know that man probably was wrestling? Because I know I probably would have been like, Lord, what you mean? Go, like, but the fact that man was obedient. And they turned him away. Jesus.
Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, we just wanted to come real quick to drop this information out here and use it as a teachable moment to, like, man, we got a heart problem in America when it comes to racism. And this situation is a very great example of how we have fallen so far from the will of God.
From grace.
From grace. And
you know what? You know what, Jeff? When you said that we have a heart problem, it's a heart problem, and it's in America. But again, you know, and I told you this earlier, you know, when we was talking, that when it comes down to racism, we have to also, no matter about the color of your skin, I said at the end of the day, racism, in my opinion, is a sickness. It's a sickness. And that sickness I don't care if you black, if you white, if you could be white with an ugly soul and racist, and you can be black with an ugly soul and racist. You can be Chinese with an ugly soul and racist. It doesn't, but that's, in my opinion, it's a sickness. And we have always used that as a scapegoat. A lot of times, black people, I'm not saying that people that haven't experienced that or whatever the case may be. But again, we also know that that's also experienced within our own culture. You understand? It's not just the people that we looking at, the white people or any other race to use that and say that, you know, they're racist because for whatever reason. It could be just a disagreement, and the first thing that we like to run to is race, because it's an scapegoat, in my opinion, to just go to it's race instead of saying, oh well, you know, maybe they just didn't agree with me, or maybe it wasn't, but yet and still we'll go straight to race. And I think that that's something that for so long that, you know, has really, you know, taken place, and it's been so easy to use that word for whatever situation that fits whatever narrative or whatever the case may be, until it's easy to run to, instead of just saying, you know what, and I can tell you, I've actually, you know, had a moment I told you about on my job before. But at that very moment, I didn't take it, because I knew at that very moment, that person, at the end of the day, he was just a person that didn't have a good spirit. I would say that. But at the end of the day, I didn't let that define who I was and look at every person that's a different skin color of me to say that this person is what we're in 2025 now. You know, this is a time where we should all be, reunited. And I'm saying, like, in a space where, we all love one another, no matter the color of your skin, whatever the case may be, just love. We should be showing love because now the generation we have coming up now, they should be taught just love and compassion. And as you can see, we're in a time now where these younger kids, they don't see race. You see all types of interracial couples now. I know I see with prom and different, interracial couples now. And it's like now it's just time to let that go and heal. And we move on and just love one another as Christ loved us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just the bottom line, man. Because I'm pretty sure, God ain't tripping off who white, who black in this situation. And if you're a follower of Christ or whatever your faith may be, if you believe in the higher power, then you should be able to see what this is really about. Grace and mercy. And for that man, that father, I'm not looking at it through a racial lens. I'm looking at it through a lens of me being a father. And how heartbreaking it is to know that my son was unalived in this fashion and my other son saw it happen and he left in his arms. And for that man to have the compassion, he don't have nothing but God all in him and through him to even extend the olive branch.
And know what? He will be able to, when he see God, he'll be able to hear, "Job well done, thy good and faithful servant." Because that man was obedient. I know it took everything in him to go to that press conference and do the will of God. You understand? But he was obedient, and that was the very moment that they turned him away.
It wasn't nothing. God didn't have nothing to do with that press conference. We know that for a fact.
Thank you.
We know that for a fact because that was an epic disaster. And knowing this information now, it just makes it that much worse that they missed that opportunity to help heal the world.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, sis. If that's it, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Voices for the voiceless. We love y'all. Until the next time, we'll speak to you soon. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.